Hey, hey, hey! Welcome back to another Reality Skewed Gamers gaming session. I'm Ranger J 1999. Glad you guys could join us today for our lunch stream. If you're new to the channel or new to this, the lunch stream is where we just hang out with you good folks for the next hour or so and kind of bring you quality entertainment as we kind of do some roster reviews, answer some of your questions. Chaos just ensues everywhere. But welcome, everybody. Let's introduce everybody on the panel, on the crew, see who we got here today. I think we've got Dr. Finn, Medicine Woman, here.
I'm here. I may be a little bit more quiet than normal, though, because I'm
Why?
working on a new mods video that I need to put out by today, since we're going to be on Operation Metaverse later today.
Why?
Why? We need the video. We put out the really cool graphic, and now we need to get the video.
Why?
So,
Why?
because we need to.
Why?
Because.
Why?
Because.
All right, moving on from that ridiculous conversation. And that was a legitimate why. I just want to put that out there. Also joining us is the
That was also legitimate because, just to put it that out there.
Just be quiet, Finn. No one wants to hear you talk. Just go back to doing your witchy stuff. Also joining us is the big deal himself, Grande Patron. Grande Patron, the big deal. Why did it take you 10 seconds to respond to that?
Because I was on mute.
Oh, God.
So I responded once, and then you didn't hear me, so I had to respond again.
It's going to be a great show. Also joining us as well is, I believe he's here, Grim the Mechanic.
How's it going?
Hey, Grim, what's going on, buddy? And then I think we also have joined us the snake in the grass himself, Comcurba's here.
La, senor.
We've got the whole diversity of the RSG crew here. No Stanley today, no Dana. Maybe they'll all pop in later. Who knows? But welcome. Just to get through a couple things. If you like what you see, then please give us a thumbs up on the video. Also, if you could, if you're new to the channel or you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. That way you can get notified whenever we have content coming out. We got some cool stuff coming up, so it behoove you to do it. I'm not a rocket scientist. I just play one on this stream. And also, if you haven't checked out our Patreon, please do. Everything that we do for this channel is for you guys in the community. So everything that we get from Patreon or from monetization from YouTube is to go right back into the stream to get better equipment, to be able to put out better graphics, to do better things for you guys, to make what we put out quality. So, yes. So if you do have questions, go ahead and get those in. Dr. Finn, Medicine Woman, will be scooping those up. Yes, someone had to say something?
Oh, I was going to say also it helps it to where you can eat more than just ramen.
Well, that too, but that's actually secondary in my mind. Like, if I just had to live on bread and water so we could do the stream, I don't give a crap. I'll live on bread and water. You know what I'm saying? Oh, a Dr. Pepper a day keeps the stream going 100%. So, but yes, we do appreciate everybody's support, and we love you guys for everything you do. It's humbling to all the kindness you guys have shown us, with the Amazon wish list and stuff like that you guys do to support what we do. So that's why we bust our ass to do what we do and do all the streams that we do. So, spread the word about RSG. Let's get this thing growing. Let's get this thing growing, on dang it, or Chrome's gonna smoke
That's
too
what
much
she
weed.
said.
Oh my God, Jesus. My God. Oh, of course, Finn. I was having a heartfelt moment, and Finn just went and effed it all up. Thanks, Finn.
That's what she said.
I mean, do you want to just club a baby seal while you're at it?
I was just watching an episode of American Dad where the whole premise was that they had to club a baby seal in order to get Haley from becoming brainwashed that she was a 6-year-old.
Yeah. No, I think we all just tuned out to what you were saying. All right, let's start with our roster review. Now, if you do have questions, make sure if you put them in there that you put the word question in front of your statement. It just helps us scoop them up faster. And we'll try to get to many as we can. But we do have a roster review today, and we are doing, lo and behold, Hand Sandwiches Pro. We're doing his roster review, and he is in the Alliance Vader's Fist. That sounds awful. God, the Alliance Vader's Fist. Ooh, oh my. And Dr. Finn, what is the old hand sandwich looking for today?
So he is looking for mods. He
Sure.
wants to look at his arena team because he's currently running the Jedi. So he's trying to see if maybe that's his best squad or maybe he should switch to something else. His heroic Sith and fleet. What would be his best fleet? And he just wanted to shout out that he's from Lloydminster, Alberta. So shout out to Mr. Canada there.
God, another Canadian. Ugh.
Canada is a nice place.
Well, I guess. I mean, it's full of communists, but I mean, other than that,
and bushes
and T-money. I mean, T-money
and maple syrup and polar bears.
It's a great day for Canada, and they're there for the world. So let's see.
Don't
here.
spill the pudding. That's all I gotta say. Don't spill the pudding.
You don't know where.
Well, let's see what status he has real quick.
Well, let's look at his arena team first. That's what we're looking at. So he's running the Basla team with the two Yodas, Ezra, and Kenobi, old Ben. Looks like his Basla is 4 stars. No one's not gear 12 is Basla, of course, because she's not 7 stars. And it looks like Grandmaster Yoda is only I'm assuming they click on him, but gear 11. So that's not really an issue. We need to look at the mods. I'm gonna let Grande do that since he is the mod master.
Hold on 1 second, Ranger.
Why?
I want to check something. YouTube is like down in different aspects.
Is it YouTube?
I think everything is still recording though. It's YouTube because I'm trying to get into like our controls for it, and it says like the functionality is not available right now.
Oh, for God's sakes!
No, but it's still streaming. I'm listening on the stream, and I think it's fine.
Is it working on the stream?
The stream is fine.
The stream is fine, but nobody's able to type in chat.
Oh, guys, we apologize. This is not us. This is YouTube. Really?
Yeah, because if you look at the comments, like nobody's typed anything in like 5 minutes, and I just checked our Discord, and people are like, I can't type in YouTube chat, and it's because YouTube chat is...
for God's
It's Tuesday. It's a client restart day, right? For YouTube.
God.
I blame Finn.
Did we talk about what guild he's in?
Yeah,
we
Alliance
did.
Vader for this.
Well, if you have...
so
Yeah.
for those of
Keep
you that
chat
are
servers down.
listening, this is what I want you guys to do. So we're going to do it slightly different now. If you guys have questions, go into the RSG Discord in the questions and answers chat and make sure you type question there. I'll be able to search them in the same way. So start off your question with questions if you guys have it. Type it in the RSG Discord. I know that's not the most easy thing, especially if you're on mobile because you got to switch back and forth. But that's pretty much the only way we can do it right now. So again, RSG Discord in the questions and answers chat. Go in there, start it out with question, and go ahead and type your question, and I'll be able to search them afterwards when we do our question and answers. Hopefully the chat will come back before then, though.
Well, that sucks, but...
Not much we can do. That's all YouTube.
Yeah, the chat servers are down on YouTube.
Boy, Hans
This is-
Sandwich.
Han sandwich. What do you mean Han? What is this, German? Und Handen Sandwich in
Hans Hans Sandwich is... I'm trying to say it. It's
Hands sandwiches.
Hans Sandwiches has made a dramatic improvement in arena.
Yeah, he's running that Basla team. I can see why.
Basla.
Yeah, it's a good team. So let's start with the mod on the arena team. What are you guys seeing on that?
So let's start with mods on the arena team. So
because it's the first thing he asked about, if I'm not mistaken, right, Finn?
Correct.
Okay. Thanks, Finn.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Yeah, his mods are not on his arena team.
So that's mistake number 1, but that's okay. It's correctable.
It is correctable.
And why do we fall, Bruce? So we can pick ourselves back up and then kung fu fight as Batman.
So I'm just going to search by secondary speed and see where we're at on secondary speeds. Whoa, we have really nice mods all over the place.
Yeah.
Arena
this does not look good.
So the first ones I'm looking at stuff like the tenacity, these 2 mods that are sitting over on Thrawn, more mods sitting on HK47, more mods sitting over on Jin and sitting on Mother Towson, sitting on Ray, sitting on Gar Saxton,
and a level 6 5 speed 14 speed secondary speed set at level 6 on Kira.
Holy crap! We need to level that sucker up and put it on, and Kira, and one sitting on Traya the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, these are some really great mods that we need to move around a little bit.
Well, so here's the question I have. I'm gonna throw this at you guys. He has what he needs to run the Sith team,
except for EP Zeta.
He does well. He's got Traya. He's got Scion. He has Nihilus. I mean,
he doesn't have any Zetas on Traya though.
But I know. But I'm saying, is that a route he may want to go?
If we had Zetas to spend,
all right. So if we do have Zetas to spend, your Zeta priority is Traya. I think we can all agree.
I would agree with that. Absolutely.
And then at least leadership on Traya or her unique, depending on which way you want to go, and definitely one for Scion if you don't have one on Scion.
He has it on Scion.
All right, so
he also has track Doom on EP.
So we need to get Traya rocking and rolling because that'll be another team you can use. Because you could use your Jedi team to climb and put your Traya team on defense, or I just climb with Traya's team. She's just so disgusting. It's a route you may want to consider, Hand Sandwich. You know, I mean, if you're all about the Jedi, then we're going to tell you what you need to do for the mods real quick. But if you want to go to the Sith route, which you are capable of doing, I mean, Nihilus is gear 9, but that's really not a big deal. You can easily get him geared up. Same thing with Scion. You can get him to gear 11. Same thing with Traya, gear 11.
I wonder if this EP Zeta thing was a mistake or intentional. Because I don't think I've ever seen anybody do the unique on Palpatine before the leader. I think
it could be an old, because he's been around for a while, and he probably made one of his first Zetas that he did. You know, I've seen that before.
Yeah, but his Zeta on his unique just came recently. Like at the same time as his leader. I mean, it's
maybe he got some bad advice. We don't know because we can't see the goddamn chat in YouTube.
Well, it's the first time I've seen that, so it's like a first for me that I've seen somebody
like
with
a Zeta, but it's not the first one you do.
Yeah, I'm looking through Zetas. It's entirely possible that he did that for TW.
Yeah.
So because he's got a Zeta on Maul.
I'm going to lean with him and say it was an accident. He meant to do later, possibly.
Probably, yeah. But that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, it's still a nice Zeta.
It's not like you did First Order TIE Fighter pilot.
Like I praise the unique. Like if you have Palpatine, use him. Like
I did his leader and his protection one, so I didn't do Crack with him.
I mean, he's got Cody and 5 Zeta.
Well, I mean,
Crackling Doom is excellent, right?
Yeah. All right. So that's a possibility. Just think about that, Hands. And if you want to delve into that more, let us know if you want to do a switch over. But let's assume that he's not, right? We're going to look at what he's got now as a Jedi team, which is still a fantastic team. Mods, what does he need to do?
He needs to move his mods around onto his arena team. He has some great mods, but we just need to start looking at currently speed secondaries are not in the correct spots.
Right. So because you could be kicking some major ass if you get the right mods in your arena team there, buddy.
I mean, he has some great. I think he's got some great mods that he's just forgotten about.
Yeah, like the one on Kira and then the one on Traya.
The one on Kira, the one
really
on Traya,
nice ones.
Jin, regular Ray, Gar Saxton. I mean, he's got double digit speed mods of all the way down to Rolo, and I mean he's got one on Zeb. I mean he's some of these characters that we don't use very much, and I'd like to see some of these some of those end up on his arena team, if at all possible, rather than end up where they are right now.
I'm looking at those 2 underleveled ones, the level 6 ones. I mean, they both have 14 speed on them at level 6. You can still level 9 and 12 and still get 2 rolls on those speeds, potentially.
No, they won't. They probably came in as blue. And so they've double procced already. That's the reason why he leveled them to 6. They're not going to gain more speed now. But it is what it is.
It's still nice, though.
It's still a nice mod. They're definitely in his top 30 mods. And so when we're looking at his top 30 mods, we want to put, his best 30 as best we can on his arena team. Faux show.
For shizzle.
We definitely need to look at that.
So first priority is for your arena team is to listen to what we just said. Get those mods on your arena team, and you'll really be kicking some ass with that team. So if you have questions about which mods specifically, you can reach out to us, and we'll be more than glad to tell you which one. All right, so we had arena, and really the arena thing that we noticed is that is a mod issue. So you're doing okay in arena, but you could probably easily get top 20 if you mod your characters correctly.
I think.
Go ahead, Grande.
I think he's struggling without Traya.
He is, but his Sith team's not ready yet. They need the Zetas and need some gear on some of the team. So while he's working on, he can remod his current team to kind of hold the line, maybe do a little bit better. Work on your Sith that we just.
He needs to remod. Even if he wanted to remod his current team, like Ezra needs like an offense triangle. I mean, an offense cross versus a tenacity cross.
Yeah.
I mean, even though it's got a mild flat offense, it's not enough to make up for that percent offense that you would get on that mod. So
you also don't need an offense set. You want a crit damage
offense set.
No, I'm saying you don't want an offense set. You want a crit damage set.
I would agree. We would rather see him go crit damage, crit chance right now, if we could. Yeah, we need to kind of rework this a little bit. I think you need to figure out what you want in every character on your arena team, and then you search for those mods in your entire inventory and pull them off for your arena team. This goes back now. Why do we want you to mod your arena team first? Because you do arena every day, and it's your main source of the premium currency, which is crystals. So it's arena, and the same thing is true for ships arena over raid teams, over TW teams, over TB teams. The most important thing is your arena because you do it every day. Okay, I'm done.
Okay. So he also wanted us to look at Sith raid. So his JTR team looks fine. He's got JTR, R2, BB-8, I think. Let's look at his resistance. Let's just make sure.
Yeah, he has resistance.
They're all
trooper.
12. Yeah, so looks good.
I don't know who he's using in his 5th. It's probably Hermit Yoda.
Sure, so. That's fine. Let's filter by. He does have Hermit Yoda. He does have a 7-star Wampa. So there's your team for phase 2.
So his Wampa's only gear 9 though.
That's
he
okay.
Has a gear 12
I'm saying
Princess
something.
Leia. So I think that may be what he's focusing
Machine
on.
Gun Leia
Sure.
would be an easier team for him.
Yeah, you can do that until you get your Wampa ready.
So let's remind the viewers at home, what is the full comp for the Machine Gun Leia team? It is Akbar lead
with Ugnaught.
No, Akbar lead.
Then you're
gonna run. No. Then you're gonna run.
Oh, I'm
Princess
sorry.
Leia.
Coruscant police officer.
That's a different OP team. You're getting it confused. You're getting that confused.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, then you're gonna run Leia. Then you want to run tanks that are potentially not rebel tanks that have attack abilities. These would be tanks like Clone Wars Chewbacca, Sunfac. What are some other tanks that you think you could run in there, Kennedy?
So my favorite one, and this is one that people don't have, so it's not saying to get it, but Clone Wars Chewie is the best one in that squad. Because he has 2 abilities that don't do anything offensive. He's not a rebel, so he can basically trigger the rebel attacks with an Akbar lead 3 times between the pain dispel, his taunt, and his heal. So
and then you run Hermit Yoda on that team as well, don't you, Ben? Now,
yeah.
And here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to run Thrawn. You don't want to run GK, because there's another team that you would run. It's GK, lead, Thrawn.
Oh, chat's working.
Sorry. Sabine.
Oh, snap.
Hermit Yoda and Wampa. So you can run 2 teams in P2.
And if you put a Zeta on Emperor Palpatine lead, you can run.
And if you put a Zeta on Emperor Palpatine lead, then you can run Emperor Palpatine, Vader, Scion, Nihilus. Who do you like for your 5th in there?
Hermit Yoda.
Hermit Yoda again.
I use him like 5 times in different squads in the raid.
So let's
make sure I can save him.
Let's go back to P1 if he wants to work on teams. Let's go back to the Jedi team that starts out with Grandmaster Yoda, then has Ezra, has Hermit Yoda again, then has Qui-Gon Jinn, and who's the 5th?
Normally it's Visas.
Yeah.
Visas instead of Hermit Yoda, so we can save Hermit Yoda.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I don't know if that same team would work with Hermit Yoda instead of Visas, right? Because part of the Visa thing is that you get the res.
Right.
So we do V, but he doesn't have Visas.
No, he doesn't have Visas. I'm trying to think how he would do a phase 1 with his Grandmaster Yoda has the leader. Oh yeah, he has all but the uni, so he has one of the Zetas. It's interesting.
Anyway, phase 3, Chex Mix.
Plain and simple. Han's gear 11, need to get him to gear 12 with the bayonet.
Besides Chex Mix, you could also run Troopers.
Death Trooper is only gear 10, need to get him to at least gear 11. Yep. Luke's fine. I'm looking for Chirrut. Is only gear 8, so we got to get him to gear 11 at least.
And no, gear 12. He needs to be gear 12 because he needs that bayonet.
Yeah, OG Han. Yep.
Yeah, OG Han. And then, how are we doing with Pow or Jedi Knight Anakin?
Pow is 7-star gear 8.
It'll work. It'll work.
It'll work. Yeah.
Up.
That'll do, pig. That'll do.
And Chirrut?
Are you listening to anything I'm saying, Grande?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I messed up and you said it already. I'm sorry.
It's multiple things. I feel like I'm not even here, Grande. You know.
What about Chirrut?
Oh, Jesus. Again,
and then Troopers.
He needs to get his Chirrut to gear 11. He's only gear 8.
Okay.
Does he have CLF?
I thought.
You know.
I think you're gear Ranger. That's all.
Thank you. You know what?
Control powers activate.
And then you can also run Imperial, the rest of the troopers in that team as well in that phase under a Stark lead. I mean, not a Stark lead, a Veers lead.
He does have a lot to change though if he's doing that team. Just for reference, his Han Solo is way too fast. His Han Solo is gear 11, needs to get to gear 12 with the bayonet, and he needs to change his mods to go slower and much more heavy offense focus. So. I don't know where else he's using Han. I was trying to check his profile just to see what teams he's been using, and he does occasionally use Han, or used to anyways, use Han on his Jedi Training raid team. I'm assuming as a counter to some of the fast characters. Even then, Han needs to be super offense based. Lots and lots of offense secondary flat stat. Yeah, you actually want him slow for the phase 3 heroic Sith raid, because you want him to be slower than your Death Trooper, and your Death Trooper should be about 179, 178 would be like the perfect speed for Death Trooper, and you want Han to be much slower than that, probably closer to around 140, almost like no speed if possible, and that's because if you time it correctly, Death Trooper will go put his death mark, assuming you can get the beginning sequence done, and then Han will go immediately and do his standalone. So you do need to remod your Han Solo, and that offense-based modding can really help in your arena as well if you use him.
Okay, phase 4. Ye Old Nightsisters.
Let's look at them. Let's see here. Looking pretty solid. Has a zombie.
I'm good with his Nightsisters. Do we have the right Zetas?
He has the leader on Ventress. Although he doesn't have her heal and her two specials, Omega. So you probably want to finish that off because you do want Asaja's Omega because she gets 5% bonus heal as part of it, and then with the other one she does more damage and cooldown reduction whenever a killing blow is done, which is useful because of the ads in phase 4. So I would finish off your Ventress and get her specials Omega. He also, I'm wondering what he's modding for, because he also has Asajj very heavily offense modded.
Interesting.
It's another offense set on Asajj Ventress with crit avoidance arrow. So
he probably just stuck them on there and matchy them. He didn't even really think about it.
He may have, yeah. We need to go through, and he needs to remod, I think, a lot. Just because I don't know what his focus was when he was modding these. One thing to be careful about, and this is just kind of in general, because maybe this is why he did it. Just because a character has increased offense stacking doesn't mean you need an offense set. Just putting that out there, because you can get a lot more benefit out of a crit damage set as they're critting a lot, because you're still going to gain a 15% extra damage on your base anyways, no matter what. But the crit damage actually provides a lot more, especially if you're critting a lot, and Asajj gets to the point where she does crit quite a bit. So maybe some confusion on the fact that she gets stacking offense. Same thing we saw with Ezra, right? He had the offense set. It just may be confusion on how the overall mechanic works. You can do offense, but critical damage serves them both better.
Okay. We also have like potency sitting on zombie. But she's not.
Why?
So
zombie can do tenacity down, right?
Yeah, you don't need potency because that'll stick always anyways.
Well, maybe he's trying to get her to die a bunch.
It is a good stat if you just want the zombie to die. But you could just as easily put no mods if you wanted.
I don't know. Anyway, we do have some remodding to do, but that team looks good. Mm-hmm. And then after that, in P4, you're basically making teams. You're making teams.
Do the best you can. Good luck.
With Hermit Yoda on the team.
If he's still around.
And don't put characters that stealth. Like, don't put Dengar and Hermit Yoda together. That's a bad choice. You'll be left with Dengar and Hermit Yoda might die. So don't put characters that stealth with Hermit Yoda.
Unless you have a specific purpose. I love when you put Acolyte, Hermit Yoda, and Nightsister Zombie together. So much fun.
Well, young Lando and Hermit Yoda work real well together because young Lando will constantly use his stealth skill on Hermit Yoda when Hermit Yoda isn't stealthed.
Oh, interesting.
I found that out the other day. It was annoying because I was fighting against it.
How do we feel about this review? Do we need to do anything else on this review?
What else did he ask us to do, Finn? I think he said look at ships.
Yeah, ships also. I mean, I think in going through his roster
code, because we need to look in game at what he's running a little bit with ships. I mean, we can look at it on GG, but it's not as easy.
I mean, I don't know how much he's focusing on ships. Let's assume that we're just starting from scratch and looking at his ships.
Pretty solid, actually. I'm looking at it.
Not terrible.
Yeah, it's pretty solid, actually. Good. You tell he's farming the right things.
We need to finish off Poe Dameron, maybe.
Poe is, he's almost done with the silencer. Same thing.
We need to finish off Chimera.
Yeah, a lot of these are 7 stars, and those are not. You got a 6-star on the. Okay, you get 6-star.
I would guess that his starting lineup is going to be
work on Maul ship.
Chimera lead with Biggs, TIE Advanced, and First Order TIE Pilot.
Mm-hmm.
That's my guess as to what his starting lineup would be based on what I see, and then probably a Phantom, Slave 1, Ghost, and trying to see what else he's probably bringing in. Either Kylo's or Reaper, I would guess, would be his other one.
But yeah, pretty solid lineup. It's hard for us to kind of gauge what you need to do. I mean, keep farming the ships. You seem like you're on the right path by far. You know, I mean, I've not seen anything that, other than, you know, even, yeah, that Lando ship's the only thing that's a little lacking, but it's not a be-all, and, you know, I mean, most people don't have it, so don't even stress. Slave 1 needs to be finished, but I could tell you probably farming him. Same thing with Silencer.
My hardest thing is trying to figure out which capital ship he's running.
It's hard to tell. I mean, he has Chimera. He's got them all.
But his Chimera's only 6-star, right?
Yeah, so his Executrix.
His
and I was on
highest one is Endurance.
Yeah, so I don't know
he
what
doesn't have like the full Galactic Republic in order to run that. So there may be he might be running a 6-star Chimera, which isn't bad, but he needs to work on his Thrawn anyways. So I'll start working on
it. But he's totally ready to get Chimera to 7-star.
Yes, he is.
Go around.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's looking really good on his ships. I just don't know where he's finishing stuff. So so let's do this. So to be more specific, get with us in Discord, and we can be more specific with you. But your farming of what you're working on looks fine.
It looks pretty good.
Looks really good. So it's just a matter of us being able to kind of see what you're running, and what are your reinforcements, things of that nature. That they were kind of in the dark about that. So I can't really help you in that regard, other than saying keep farming what you're farming. It's really all we can offer you. But I mean, you got a 6-star Kylo Ren's command shuttle. I mean, you've done really well with your ships. I mean, you're farming the right way. I mean, I'm not seeing anything, but I can't really give you any. We'd just be speculating. So we don't want to do that. So just get with us, Hand Sandwich, and we'll be more glad to break it down for you a little bit more. So. All right, besides ships, anything else? I think we've covered a lot of stuff.
I think that was everything. I mean, yeah, we need to go through his ships, and I think we really need to focus on his mods. I think those are... Yeah.
So get those mods in your arena team. Start thinking about doing Sith. Work on some of those characters with, you know, gear and stuff that we mentioned for your teams and things of that nature. If you have questions specifically besides doing Traya with her Zetas first... get with us. I mean, we'll be more glad to look at those different teams. You've got the pieces there, some just need gear, and I understand that it's a gear crunch. Trust me, but kind of pick one or two, work on them, then go pick another one or two, work on them. Very specific toward the heroic Sith raid, and I think you'll be okay. But if you have questions as you're going along about who you should work on next, that's what we're there for in the Discord. That's what we do. So thank you, Hand Sandwich, for letting us look at your roster. If you have more questions, just join our Discord, and I know you're in there, and we can help you out. All right, it is time for questions.
Okay, so I'm going to put another link in Skype Ranger for the first question. It is to the roster of Trez.
What?
And he had a question. Wait. And it's kind of a common question, and we can address this because it was brought up a little bit yesterday.
Where am I seeing this? Is the latest,
it's in Skype chat.
The latest link you just put at 12:33?
Correct.
Oh my God.
Because it'll help.
Sure.
So the question is from Trez, and his question is, given my current roster, is there a team available that I could use to beat Traya lead with the Sith Trooper without pulling my mods from Jedi?
With Sith...
So...
I know what she was talking about.
We brought this up yesterday.
Yeah. Go ahead, Finn.
Well, so I want to comment on something because this has been brought up a couple of times. So I think it was about a month ago. I put up a video about a Traya counter team. So I'll let everyone kind of know what happened and why it was pulled.
Because Finn's a butthole.
No, there was a legitimate reason. So
there wasn't. You're just a perfectionist, and it's ridiculous.
No, it is. So it's kind of an important one. So here's what happened. So I put out the video, and the team that I put there was the team that we kind of talked about yesterday. It was Rex, CLS, Han, Thrawn, Darth Nihilus. That was a team that I was getting about 60% consistency with. So I was like, okay, I'm going to put out a video, and so people have an idea about a team that can beat Traya teams. And so I made the video, and I recorded it attacking somebody on my arena shard. Normally, I record like the person's like stats and everything that day, but I was in a hurry, so I just kind of recorded the battle. I made a note of who I farmed, and I went back later and got all the stats. The problem was, by the time that I came back, he had Zeta'd his unique on Traya, and I didn't notice that he didn't have a Zeta on his Traya unique when I fought him. And so the battle became a lot different. It would have ended up pretty much the same, because I watched the video, and it wouldn't have made a huge difference, but the problem was the Sith weren't dispelling the way they were supposed to. And so that's why the video was pulled. It was because the person I was fighting didn't have a Zeta on his Traya unique, and then honestly that doesn't serve as much of a purpose, because that changes kind of the entire complexion of the match if they don't dispel. So that was the reason why that particular video was pulled. Since then, I have tried a bunch of different teams in order to beat Traya teams, all of which have somewhere between the range of 40 to 60% consistency. One of them is the same one that I mentioned, Rexlead, CLS, Han, Thrawn, and Darth Nihilus. That one, though, you need your Han in order to stun the opposing Enfys. Or Enfys or Thrawn or whatever it is. Once you do that, you end up having a speed advantage, so you don't necessarily need the higher mods. The problem is there's a little bit of RNG based on your Darth Nihilus being able to cooldown reduce your opposing Darth Nihilus. Because if he doesn't cool down the opposing Darth Nihilus in particular, that battle can start to fall apart pretty quickly. And so that becomes kind of the issue with that team. Same thing if you don't get a fracture on Scion, because if Scion dispels your tenacity up, that also can hurt a little bit. So those would be one of the issues. The other teams that I found that can work, one of them is a Vader lead, because if you get him on a team with Sith and Empire, he can go first, even before like an opposing Enfys or something like that. And the Vader can turn meter reduce when he does his AoE. And so that basically reduces the turn meter and helps you kind of get your entire team going first. That team will be a little bit more reliant on having a couple of strong characters behind it, such as a Wampa and a Imperial Probe Droid. An Imperial Probe Droid, once you kill, if you can basically detonate on Traya, you can win the match. Traya is kind of the key to get rid of early. You can do a Death Trooper combo as well, kind of with the same mindset, where you basically use an Imperial Probe Droid and you can kill Traya, and then put a Terminate on Nihilus and start killing him. There's another combination with Thrawn and Magma Trooper with Death Trooper, so you use Magma Trooper in order to kill Scion, and then you start death marking things around. But there's a few combinations, but again, consistency that I found was about 40 to 60%, unless you had like a much better speed advantage, right? So when I think of counter teams, I'm not looking at ones where my speed is better. I'm actually looking for teams where my speed is worse. And so that's the kind of the sign of a true counter. But I don't know if you guys have any other suggestions. I have one other, but I'll let you guys.
Danger Zone.
Danger Zone works still. Very, very,
Danger Zone
very
works
well.
too.
Yeah, but the thing is, you got to have minimum Biggs and Wedge Gear 11. Anything less than that, it just does not do enough damage, because you want to mod it with that crit damage and stuff, because it's all about bam, 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 character gone off the map, right? And then you've got loot to control the taunts and stuff like that. It's a very disgusting team. But it has got to be modded correctly. And you have to have the gear on them, because it's all about lightning quick damage and taking pieces off the board. If you cannot do that, then Danger Zone. Especially like if they have an Enfys. I mean, I go in there and like, I don't care if I lose. I'll take out two of those teams, and then I'm like, okay, go in with my other weak team and win. But it gives you a really good shot, especially against Enfys, because Han goes bam, and then it's like, all right, Wedge, they do their triple molly wall, and then a piece is off the board. But if you don't have the gear on them, you're not going to be able to do it. And then
he's got gear 11 Wedge and a gear 12 Biggs.
It's also set up perfectly, beautifully for that. So, but I mean, other than maybe a Bastila team on offense, because you can control and dictate terms with that team. Other than another Traya team, there's not a lot of other counters.
There is one other, and it does require you to have pretty good mods, and that's the Resistance team with Finn lead.
It is, but you have got to have.
You need Poe with a lot of potency and speed, and you need to put in a OG Han, your raid Han Solo, in order to stun the opposing Thrawn or Enfys, because more likely than not, just simply based on base speed, your Poe is going to be slower than the opposing Thrawn or Enfys. And so you need to stun them so your Poe can go first.
He's
and
got
then
to be
you
260
do need
plus speed. He's got to be 260 plus speed and
high potency, because you need that turn meter.
Got to get that.
If that turn meter doesn't hit, and if in particular if Nihilus doesn't get his turn meter reduced and your Nihilus starts to go next because you put an expose on Scion and then he gained turn meter, you're gonna screw yourself. So it works, and that one actually was more consistent than some of the others. That was closer to like the 60%, but part of that was because my mods I didn't have my best mods on Poe. My arena mods were still on the team that I left overall, which was my Emperor Palpatine lead without Traya at the time when I was testing. And so Poe couldn't get his best potency. But it was working pretty consistently with that team, but you do need to make sure you have at least a Han Solo in order to stun the opposing Nest or Thrawn. But that's another one that can work well. And that team basically is going to be a Finn, Poe, Han Solo, Resistance Trooper, and then kind of whoever you want. I do like Enfys in that because she provides a daze in order to provide any other kind of turn meter gain. She does a turn meter removal as well. I'm trying to see where his Enfys is. So let me switch to scoundrels. His Enfys is 3-star gear 7. You should work on your Enfys and get her to gear 11, even at 3-star. It's fine. But her kit is really good against Traya. So that may be another potential team. Finn, Poe, Resistance Trooper, Han Solo, and Enfys Nest. That will help you. So those are some potential teams. Again, the reason I hope I explained why the video was pulled better. It was because it wasn't against the team that people are really facing, and it doesn't provide you guys good content, and we don't want to put out bad stuff, so that's why.
Hand Sandwich said, "Hey guys, thanks so much for looking at my roster. You guys hit it on the head, as I look very little at mods. I will look at them when I have some quality toilet time." Well, Bronny, you can speak about that.
Yeah. Mods, I mean, even though people say mods aren't everything, mods are everything in the arena.
In the arena. Not so much in other places. I mean... But,
in raids they are too now.
Yeah,
raid, it is all mods.
Yeah, true. Well, with like Chex Mix, mods matter.
Yeah,
because you got match speeds and stuff.
All right, so...
Yeah. And we can help you with the mods too if you need to.
Yeah,
so
that's what we're here for. All right, let's get to some more questions there, Dr. Finn.
Okay, next question from Durgan. So these are from the Discord first. His question is, why are lunch stream questions being put in the question and answers channel in Discord?
You know why? We said so.
The YouTube chat was down for a little bit, so we were improvising. Next,
YouTube burnt the bush down.
Yes. Next question, raise side piece. Question, we'll have Wampa soon. In Phase 4 Heroic Sith Raid, can I replace Sabine for someone to do good damage still? More than 1.7, my Machine Gun Leia average score.
That's a pretty damn good score.
Replace Leia with Wampa.
No, it's not going to work. Replacing Leia with Wampa is not going to work. I mean, replacing Leia with Wampa is not going to work. No way.
No.
It's a different team, right? So what makes that team work is Akbar and Leia. He would do better to come up with a second team that's the GK, Thrawn, Sabine, Wampa team with Yoda. What's he want to so it's actually 2 teams he's going to run in that phase.
Right. And Sabine is actually not a good addition into the Akbar Leia team because she's a rebel.
You're correct.
Or could you run the new Leia Acolyte with 2 people, a Sunpack and somebody?
But now you're eating up something from your Nightsisters. Because you can put Acolyte in there, but if you don't have a zombie, the team doesn't last very long.
Yeah, true. Yeah, assuming you had the size towels and all of them.
Yeah, you would have to have a weak initiate that you're using in phase 5. That reduces your score a little bit. You can still do well with an initiate in phase 5. I've done it a couple of times where I just wanted to test out the new team, so I used initiate in phase 5 or phase 4. In phase 4 instead of that. But yeah, so I would say in phase, so there's different attack strategies whether you're using Wampa or Leia. Leia gets her damage with volume. Wampa gets his damage just based on high numbers. So Sabine works really well with Wampa because she puts the armor shred and then Wampa can do more damage. What you want with your machine gun Leia is someone that will trigger more attacks from Princess Leia. And so what you could do with that team would be your Akbar and Leia. You would want 2 tanks, and I'm going to say Hermit Yoda, assuming you can constantly save Hermit Yoda, right? So that would be one of the goals you want. So your starting 3, Akbar, Leia, Hermit Yoda, and then you want 2 tanks, preferably ones with very little attacking abilities. So
and
Short
not
Trooper,
GK.
Not GK, because GK is going to go in your Wampa team. So Short Trooper, really good one. Clone Wars Chewie, if you have him, and most people don't, is a good one. You can use Sunfac just because he's super tanky. You do not want Scarif Rebel Pathfinder because he is a rebel. So no rebel.
Or Baze.
Or Baze.
What about Zalbar? Zalbar has armor shred as well.
Yeah.
Could do Zalbar. Zalbar is a potential one there as well.
Not very free to play.
Yeah, not very free to play. So it depends on whether or not you have him. But
Sunfac's got that dispel on basic too. It keeps the offense up off of Sion, which can help.
Yep. He'll end up losing his he'll usually end up getting dazed by the Sith assassin anyway, so he doesn't counterattack half the time, but I mean it can still work out well. But yeah, you're looking essentially for 2 tanks with Hermit Yoda, Akbar Lead, and Princess Leia in order to try and get Leia to attack in volume. And then your other one is looking for quality of attack from Wampa, so that one you're doing GK, Thrawn, Wampa, Sabine, and Hermit Yoda. So those would kind of be the 2 teams that you'll be looking for. All right. Now we can go. So those were the Discord questions, and then everything started to work. So let me bring up the chat questions here. And there we go. So first chat question. Oh, what's today's date? Oh, there it is. Okay, I had the wrong date. So 21st. Okay, so Gregorio, question: are you saving or spending your ally points? After your interview with the devs, I get the impression they will introduce for us to spend our points on what will be rubbish.
We are still in the
I'm saving
about that. Yeah, I still have what.
So the Bronziums are kind of rubbish for me anyway. So either way, it's going to end up with crap in the end if they do put crap for you to spend allied points on. So no harm in saving.
It also depends on where you are in the game. If you need stuff from Bronziums, spend it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good way. I mean, I've got over 200,000, I think, 250, something like that. So,
yeah. All right, next one, Jedi Gunny 262. Question: predictions on Marquee this week.
Voltron.
I wish, right?
I think we've been saying the same 2 characters for the last couple weeks. Aura Singh and Jango Fett, right?
Mm-hmm.
No marquee characters, mod drops.
You think something with mods drops and no marquee?
That's a possibility.
It's possible. I feel like we've gone a long time without a marquee event, though. Or maybe I'm just spoiled by last month. God. Next question, Xylo1111. Question: what's wrong with being Canadian? Ranger, I'll let you take that one.
Well, it all stems from the madness that is T Money G. I think Canadians are fine, but
what's wrong with Canadians?
I mean, it's their maple syrupiness.
Blame Canada. Blame Canada.
With their beady little eyes, tomorrow these freaks are gonna fry. Blame Canada. Blame Canada.
I know why.
It's not even a country anyway.
For Canadians, but I can't.
When you accidentally get maple syrup on your bush, that's why.
Oh no.
All right, next question. Question is from Luke Thyrocker. Question: what is the best speeds for a Traya team? Optimal mods for Traya.
Over 4 million. I mean, you want all your characters above 200. Optimal speed. Oh, boy.
So the way I do it,
I run Thrawn. He's at like 270 speed because I want him the fastest, and usually he goes first for me before they even do something. Yep. So typically, you know, I mean, all my characters. I have to go look, but I mean, I think my Thrawn's 260, 70, but typically. I'm trying to think of what would be the, because after you want Nihilus to be super duper D fast.
Well, kinda.
I mean, you want him in that 220 range.
So what you want, so whatever your fifth character, so I'm with Ranger on that. So you're going to be running Traya.
Emphys, like if we run an Emphys,
Emphys, Thrawn, whatever your fifth is, that should be your fastest. Your next one should be Scion. Scion should be your next fastest. Now, the question is, what should be your next fastest character? Should it be Traya? Should it be Nihilus? The answer to that depends upon your mods. And what you're looking for in the mods is based on Nihilus's unique. And Nihilus's unique is that whenever Scion or Traya get debuffed, he will gain 10% turn meter. Right? So what you're wondering is whether or not Scion is going to get a debuff. And so what you want is 10% less of Scion's speed is what you want Nihilus at least. So let's say your Scion ends up at 240 speed. Your Nihilus should be 10% of 240 is 24, should be at least 20, needs to be more, I guess, less than 24 speed below Scion. So he should be above 226 or 216, sorry, 216. And that's what you're kind of using as a gauge. Primarily Scion, because Scion you want to be your fastest. If the opposing team usually has a Zeta Nihilus, that means that when he goes on his turn, he's going to get a debuff. Nihilus is going to gain turn meter. So based on what speeds you have, you can then either increase or decrease your Nihilus's speed and then put your next set on Traya. If you have good enough speeds, you can make Traya your next fastest because she might potentially get a debuff as well. But I would say in general, you want Scion, then Nihilus, then Traya in terms of your best speed mods. But more likely than not, your order is going to end up being, in terms of your final speed, it'll be Scion, followed by Traya, followed by Nihilus, just because Traya has a higher base speed. So that's kind of what you're looking at in terms of speed order, and I would say just go pure speed on Traya. I know some people go offense and go some other stats, but I like speed on Traya because her isolate is really what makes a match.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say that. You want Traya to be pretty darn fast so you can get that isolate out there ASAP.
Yeah, so I think that, and then whatever you're using as kind of the other Sith character, usually it's like a Sith Trooper or something. Sith Trooper can be slow as molasses and tanky as hell. I mean, you don't need to do anything crazy with him, so he can get your leftover mods.
He's just there to soak up damage.
Yep.
That's his whole job.
And to eat babies. All right, next question.
All right, next question is from Bjorn Rodiger, and question: when you remod your tunes, in which order do you do that? I mean, it's obviously Arena first, but after that, what are your priorities?
Me too.
I think Grande is going to explode. Go, Grande.
Go, Grande. And keep it under 5 minutes.
Okay. Arena first, 5-dot, level 15 mods on your fleet that you use every day. Mm-hmm. After that, it's going to be your Sith raid teams, your AAT raid teams, and then your TW teams. This is based on the fact that you do Arena every day. You do Fleet Arena every day. You do Sith Triumvirate Raid, and you do AAT more than you do TW. And TW is the next area that you need to work on. Making the assumption that you can solo the Rancor with anything you put together.
Right.
Anybody disagree with that order of operations?
No, I think it's a good order of operations.
I agree with it.
I might disagree
on the
slightly.
speed, because speed doesn't matter for your ships. So
Yeah.
I think a little caveat to that is
you can put your worst 5-dot level.
Right.
You're You're just checking to make sure they are 5-dot.
Right.
But you're absolutely
right. Speeds then goes to raids, territory wars. So
correct.
After that, then you want to make sure that whatever you got left over, you put on your characters to make sure that all your crew members have 5.15 mods, right? So
correct.
The other thing is also I may prioritize territory wars over AAT. I wouldn't prioritize it over Sith Raid. Because I just don't care enough about AAT. Honestly, it doesn't make a huge difference in my final result when you use kind of the Wampa and Vader and whatever team. It adds a little bit more damage, but I guess for me, I would rather focus on territory wars and having like my defense team stout as possible. So I don't want to put the mod necessarily on the AAT teams. Now, granted, a lot of them overlap. Yeah, and I mentioned this before. I play the counters in Arena, so I don't keep like one team and I don't try to force my Traya team all the way up. I play against, I use a team that counters whatever's up there. So based on what's on my Arena chart, I've kind of developed what teams it is. And right now I rotate between like 6 teams, which in total have about like 24 characters, I think, something like that. And so I mod 24 characters first, and I kind of overlap in all of the other different areas, right? So I do Arena first, but it encompasses a lot for me to do Arena. And then by the time I get to the other ones, they're already kind of taking care of themselves to some extent. But I would still put Territory Wars above AAT. But Sith Raid would be after Arena and making sure ships have 5 dots.
Yeah, but you're also a special kind of insane there, Finn. A lot of people don't have the patience to do all that.
Most people don't swap between 24 characters in Arena.
Yeah.
It's more fun that way. I would get so freaking bored playing the same team every time. So like if there's a Bastila team, I switch in my Nightsisters. I don't switch the mods. They're all modded, and if you play the counter team, you don't need better mods. So like I'll put in my Nightsisters against
again, this goes back to one of the things I think is super important. If mods don't make you better, it's knowing how to play and which characters to bring in that actively counter the whichever characters those guys have up on defense. If the gear is the same and the mods are relatively close, even though your characters may be lower modded, you can win with the correct counter.
And that's called science.
Like paper, rock, scissors, man.
Or
and it's
science.
perfect. It's perfect paper, rock, scissors right now.
All right.
Well, yeah, like how 3-star Bastila, there we go.
Thank you.
Teams are taking out the full gear 12 EP teams.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next question, Dr. Finnadoodle.
Okay. So next question is by Stama Osbuff. And the question is, not giving up who did it, but what are some of the craziest defenses you guys have seen in the back territories?
I've not seen anything crazy. It's been standard, but it's usually a good set of teams. It's always at least one of them's Traya, or something along the. I think the craziest thing I'm trying to think we ever saw, I think it was Nightsisters team. It was a full 25 zone of Nightsisters with Emphis, I want to say. I saw.
No, that's a good. Emphasis on Nightsisters is a good team. I would agree with that.
I mean, we got past it, but it was like that threw us for a loop because we had never seen that before, and you had to really think about it for a second. So we just, it's like,
oh, the first time you saw Dooku on a Traya team?
Oh yeah, yeah, and that's a very disgusting team.
Let's see some other teams that are pretty good. we think of them as old hat now, but the first time we saw Zeta Barris on a first order team,
yeah,
that was pretty like, oh dang.
No, they didn't.
I'm working on a comp with Embo here. That I'm going to be making a video on here pretty soon. That works really well.
I think there are going to be there's always some really good bounty hunter teams, right? I mean, the first time we saw Bosk lead, on a bounty hunter team, that was like a little bit of a pucker factor, right? I mean, you don't know how to make that sucker work. I don't know. That's all I can think of off the moment.
Mm-hmm. Definitely Finn.
That's usually correct. Okay. Next question. So following up on that from Jojo-san, question: who is excited for Territory Wars today?
I can tell you who's not excited.
Yeah, I'm not, because they changed the rules on me. So.
Kazekage, too easy. Question: can you look at mods #20 speed sub for Barris? If you have enough high level mods in order to put a 20 speed on Barris, that's fine. But if you only have one, it shouldn't go on Barris. Come on now.
Well, unless you're intentionally put it on Barris so you can screenshot it and send it to Cubs fan Han.
That's true.
He loves Barris.
Yes, he does. Okay, next question.
Don't do that.
Question from Nathaniel Miller. About to get BB-8.
Sure.
What's the best Territory War team for him? No Jedi Training Ray yet.
Resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up.
Yep. Finn, assuming you have a Zeta Finn.
On offense. Go with put it on your Finn team.
Mm-hmm.
Zeta Finn.
Yeah. There you go. And last question. Andrew Sweeney question: do you expect a meta shift soon? We've had some variation of a Sith meta 5 to 6 months now.
No.
Man, you typically you get a meta. I mean, this meta kind of came in February, right? Basically,
and then slowly creeping and creeping.
Well, kind of. Right, so Emperor Palpatine was the meta, and then they introduced the Bastila and Grandmaster Yoda, and Emperor Palpatine.
But it's not taken over. And even most of the majority, you look at the meta reports, either Palpatine lead with Traya or Traya. So it's a Traya. Yeah. It's a Traya meta right now, and I don't foresee. I mean, at the moment, any possibility of characters coming in that are going to upheaval that. So no.
I mean, I feel. I mean, we've kind of been thinking we needed a legendary, or we needed a heroic, or we needed a journey type character. And so it's possible that if we saw a new journey, or a new heroic, or a new legendary character, that it might shift the meta. But it takes a long time for a character to actually move out of the meta. I mean, I've even seen triumvirate teams with Mother Tausen on the team. I mean, so that just goes to show you that there's some Nightsisters running out. And that's Mother standing alone too, by the way. From yesterday. But so meta totally shifting in one day. I don't see it. Plus the amount of gear it takes to get up a character. That's another reason why you don't see meta shifts as much at the high end anymore, is because it takes if somebody had that character at gear 8 just kind of hanging out level 85 with all of the purple mats done but no omegas and no zeta on some character that they magically rework, it takes them $300 worth of gear to get them up to gear 12, or and a month or two to get a zeta or two on them. So yeah, it takes a while.
Or,
you're not going to see it right away.
3 hours if you're Sir Loki.
Well, right. It's still you still can't grab that stuff right away. No matter how fast you are.
I just wonder if it's too early to displace a Traya meta. There really isn't a solid Traya counter that doesn't involve Traya, right? So like an EP lead with Traya is the solid counter to a Traya lead. But how soon do we want to displace the Traya lead with a non-Traya having counter?
Me and Chewie can go in there and Get her.
I don't know. You know, like Monty Python said, you know, nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Don't need that.
I don't know what that has to do with anything, but okay, Grim.
Me and Chewy can take care of this.
God, I think it's a good time to start the stream because everybody is losing their minds.
All right, we're going to stop.
Maybe Arnold can close it out for us.
Also, you know what's awesome? Kool-Aid pickles.
The hell are Kool-Aid pickles?
All right,
Rind and Kool-Aid. Did you really need more of a definition? God, Arnold, save us!
I thank you for joining us on the stream today. The hell with you! Listen, there's only one Arnold and it's me. Alright, for those who do not pray to Crown, you must subscribe to our channel and give us a thumbs up, and then you will get many rewards, like the lamentation of the women. What else? We have the Patreon, give us money, and then join us in the Discord.
Don't forget Operation
Do
Metaverse.
it now! Oh yeah, tonight we're doing. Oh yeah, tonight at 9 East. So we're going to do a Battlefront stream at 6 Eastern. Then we're going to stop that, and then we're going to do Operation Metaverse with good old Maurice. And is T Money still traveling?
I think she's going to be on, but I think good old Maurice is handling most of the stream stuff. But okay. Yeah, I think T Money's going to be on.
Okay, so we'll be on their show tonight, and then tomorrow we'll be back for the lunch stream.
Oh, but after we're done with Operation Metaverse, we'll be doing the Borderlands as well.
Yeah, nobody cares.
But the real life Tiny Tina's going to be there.
I know. If you have not,
Tiny Tina.
This listening to Zabiff just makes me chuckle. She just gimme. Oh my god.
Torg's butt.
Oh Jesus. Finn and Tiny Tina, aka Zabiff. So we got 3 streams coming for you, and we got a video. Finn, where are we on the video, Finn? Because
I'm working on it right now to try and get it done. So as soon as we're done here, I'm working on it.
ETA, rough ETA, because I don't want to be bombarded.
8 p.m. tonight, assuming everything goes according to plan.
All right. And if it's not, I'm going to really be cross with you.
You're always
soon
cross.
TM. Let's change it. Soon TM.
Soon TM. There you go. That's a good answer. Me and Chewy can do the mod review. Forget Vanity.
That's gotten really good. The old Han's gotten really good over the past few months.
Well, I've been really working on him. Listen, Vanity doesn't know what he's talking about.
You're kind of going into the Joker.
Well, I know. No, Joker's more like this. Joker's like, you want to know how I got these scars?
We need to end the stream.
Wait. Say, why so Sidious?
Why so Sidious?
God, let's end the stream.
My day is complete.
We need to end the stream.
Shut up, Finn. Nobody likes you. Quit your bitching and get out there and get some justice. All right, so that's our stream today, guys. Make sure you give us a thumbs up, subscribe. We really appreciate everybody's support. Check out our Patreon, blah, 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 blah. All right, so we will talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Peace out.